Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Indie Zone. My name is Kathy. Tomorrow is Monday, April 6th. Well, into the second quarter of the year, and a look at the docket in the long closed case of State of Idaho versus Brian C. Kohberger reveals that there has still been nothing released onto the public docket regarding the 89 still under seal records that Judge Stephen J. Hippler ordered to be released back on December 18th, 2025, the better part of 4 months ago. These are records from the first quarter of 2025, well over a year ago, when the case was still active with multiple items under seal, including and particularly evidence from the numerous motions, responses, and replies in limine that both sides filed. Motions in limine sought rulings pre-trial from Judge Stephen J. Hippler, some on the part of the state of Idaho, some on the part of the defense, whether or not certain evidence should be brought into the open and public trial that never happened because of Mr. Kohberger's change of plea on July 2nd, 2025. So in other words, in certain instances, it was the state who filed an in limine motion asking the judge to make a determination, for example, whether text messages, whether calls, whether other communications occurring inside of 1122 King Road or going outside or coming into 1122 King Road from the outside should be properly placed in front of the jury or not. Other in limine filings dealt with such crucial issues as AT&T timing advance records, as suspect vehicle 1, as Amazon click history, which is where the state alleges that Mr. Kohberger purchased a K-bar, a sheath, and a sharpener. There are other in limine filings having to do with the witness identification of Mr. Kohberger, allegedly, by bushy eyebrows testimony, and many other matters. What it boils down to is the state's evidence that they claim that they had that would prove Mr. Kohberger to be the sole and the correct defendant, him and him alone, who caused the catastrophic events that occurred at 1122 King Road in the capital case, which is what it was. The public has never seen a majority of these records. They've been talked about, they've been discussed, they've been described, but it's one thing to describe a piece of evidence, whether you're the state or the defense or even the judge. It's another thing to put that evidence out into the public domain. And there are still questions rhetorically that need to be asked. Why is it 8+ months after the only person who was ever arrested by the Moscow Police Department in connection with the crimes at 1122 King Road, who has not filed an appeal, no indication that he will ever file an appeal, prior records in connection to his arrest and the MPD's investigation, still so much under seal. We're going to continue to monitor the docket this week to see if hopefully these 89 records finally hit the docket in the highly sealed case. Until next time, this is Kathy. Thank you for joining us here today.